Connect, future of work and digitization and resilience, a skill which is needed more than ever, I think, in these very challenging times of COVID-19. And we again have amazing speakers for each of the topics today. And I have the honor today to introduce now the first three speakers with Malgorzata Schlümmer, regional leader of Lean In Frankfurt. We also have Michelle Peters, who reinvented herself coming from a senior corporate role in supply chain management with Merck, who then founded Suclino, a company providing end-to-end supply chain services to entrepreneurs and small businesses. And she did that end of last year. And we also have Catherine Starks, branch manager of BNY Mellon here in Frankfurt, a passionate leader in banking, where it's a corporate environment or a world still dominated by men, and but she is a female leader, and she tries to empower and support women to become leaders and move forward in their careers as well. And so each of those three are inspiring and have a lot of energy. But after we met for the prep meeting on Monday, I can tell you that's a real female powerhouse here. And I'm super happy that we have you all. And I would like to ask Malgorzata now to come in, and so the stage is all yours, Malgorzata, and we are curious about your first presentation about Connect with your personal board of directors.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Very, very warm welcome from my side. And thank you to Britta and Carol for inviting me. First of all, important message I would like to share with you in the beginning. If you think seriously about returning back to the workforce, first of all, make sure that your partner does 50% of the housework and childcare, that your husband does the equal share at your home. My organization, Lean In, has just released our Women in the Workplace report 2020. And coronavirus is a massive, massive, massive threat to the progress of women. Women have never been more exhausted, and large numbers of women are considering downshifting their careers. And it's not only because of economic hardship, it's because in an average heterosexual couple, a man does 15-20% of the housework and childcare, and a woman does 75 to up to 80% of the housework and childcare. So plan it well and make sure your partner, your husband, does the 50% of the housework and childcare, and so you don't overwork yourself. Now, let me share with you an example of how Britta and Carol calls it personal board of directors, what it could be. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Perfect, wonderful. As Britta introduced me, my name is Malgorzata Schlümmer. I'm a founder of Lean In Frankfurt and Lean In regional leader in Europe. Lean In is a global movement that has been sparked by Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. And our mission is to help empower each other, achieve our highest ambitions, and we work to create an equal world. What is our theory of change? First of all, Lean In publishes every year the largest of its kind Women in the Workplace report that helps companies understand the systemic barriers that are holding women back in the workplace. Secondly, we run many awareness campaigns, and I help run many research here in Europe and in the US. Awareness campaigns like Equal Pay Day or biases that hold women back. But most importantly, we empower women through peer support, through skill building and mentorship at scale through Lean In circles and Lean In networks. So what are the Lean In networks and what are the Lean In circles? A network like our Lean In Frankfurt network is a big community of women, sometimes and men, that connects the small circles, tens of small circles. As a network, my leadership team and I organize big events on topics that are relevant for everyone. For example, before pandemic, I organized top events on topics like how to negotiate effectively or how to communicate with confidence. And since the outbreak of coronavirus in Frankfurt, we've moved to Zoom, as everyone in the world right now. And we've organized events on topics like financial stability during difficult times like the pandemic, or we had a resilience training. We had open circle sessions. We had just a networking opportunity with the broader Lean in Frankfurt community, and we had a cook together session. And the circles, we have currently 29 circles within our Frankfurt network. They are mostly career specific, like women in sales, women in HR, women in hospitality sector. And to be more clear, the women in sales circle connects women who work in sales departments across different industries. And we also have some circles that connects women within one company, like for example, our small circle at Merck company in Darmstadt. So we have the network, like Lean in Frankfurt network, that organizes big events for the large network on topics that are relevant for everyone. And the circles, the small groups, they focus mostly on career-specific topics that are relevant in their specific careers. What is the research? What is the theory behind the circles? We all know that we are able to achieve much more in small groups that we do as individuals or we do in large communities. And we are much more confident in small groups. So the circles are small peer groups, usually from 3 to 10 people who meet once a month to learn new skills and share openly in an atmosphere of confidentiality and trust. The women in the circles are all committed to the success of their circles. They are explicitly for each other. They are explicitly for female leadership at home and for female leadership in their companies. They explicitly help each other in the circles. They are cheering each other on, building each other up. They meet to give each other advice. They meet to share ideas and to learn new skills together. We have currently 50,000 circles around the world. For me personally, it's a phenomenon that one book has inspired such a big global movement. The circles meet usually at homes, and circle meetings rotate homes, every meeting at a different home, or in a conference room after work, or in separate rooms in a restaurant. It's really up to the members of a circle to decide who is in the circle and what they would like to discuss. And my organization, Lean In, provides minute-by-minute agendas, discussion guides, expert talks, and videos, everything for free to support you as a leader of a circle. Here's some the amazing impact of the network and our leading movement. What motivates me every day. It's that 86% of members say that they have made positive impact on their life with a circle and with a network. And here you can see some impressions from our network meetings. That was before Corona, of course. Here are the amazing circle leaders within our Frankfurt network. So I, as a leader of the network, try to connect also the leaders of the small circles within our network so they can exchange with each other best practices on how to lead their circles. After Corona, we moved to Zoom. There is one screenshot of our latest event, and here just a small exclusive event for only circle leaders within our Frankfurt network. And for me personally, Lean In means so much, and it has been my way for my maternal break to stay connected to professional topics, to broaden my professional network, and to grow as a person. And believe me, I learn from every feedback I receive and from every person I meet through our network, and from every research I do And when we talk to the circle leaders, I often hear how leading a circle has made an impact in their lives, how they step outside their comfort zone, how they ask for more and get used to speak up in more in meetings. I will share with you in a chat some links how you can stay connected to the leading community. We have also a growing collection of practical resources for women during COVID-19, from advocating for yourself at work and how to support others. There's something for everyone. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Margaretha, for sharing what you have achieved here in Frankfurt with your regional, for leading and opening the Lean In network here. So I think we are all thankful. We I think, met already 2 years ago and followed each other's journey and supported us on the way. And I think that's one of the key messages also you brought in here, is like that you love how the circles, how Lean In the network has an impact on each of us, be it as a leader or as a participant. It's a two-way street. And thanks again, Margaretha.
You're always welcome. I love the work you do. And I'm also so excited to see our leaders in Frankfurt, Amina Carter and Malina Sandbatska. They are circle leaders of Lean In Circle in Mediation, Beratung, and Lean In Finance from Malin. Yeah. So if you'd like to learn more how it looks like from a leader's perspective of a small circle, make sure you connect with them. They're amazing. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thanks again, Margaretha. So we now have Michelle. If you want to come in and now take us with you on your entrepreneurial journey and your learnings and your tips, do's and don'ts about networking and connecting.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. Hi to everyone. Margaretha really talked about small peer group networking and support and close connections with people that you can trust, especially if they're local and you can meet with them in person. I'm going to take another tack on connecting and talk about connecting with complete strangers, which strikes fear and dread into many people's hearts, but I personally really enjoy it. And so I'm going to give you some tips on why I think you should do more of it if you're not doing it today or you're avoiding it. And I also will give you some tips on how to do it and how to do it without stress, right? There's really no reason why this should be a stressful thing for you. So let's talk about how that can work. Okay, so let me just share my screen. This in slideshow, right? Okay, can everybody see that? Yes?
Yes, we see your slides.
Yeah, okay, all right, good. So why do you need to network with complete strangers, right? For many people, this is extremely scary and horrible. But I hope I can convince you today in this short presentation that it is actually worth doing and something that you can, believe it or not, actually enjoy, okay? And the reason you should do it is because you cannot predict the magic that comes from helping people that you don't know and having people help you. There is incredible opportunity in this, and it is completely unpredictable. And if you're not part of it, you can't share in that opportunity. So I want to give you, and throughout the presentation, I'll give you some quick examples from my own life, right? So that you can exactly see what I'm talking about here. This happened to me recently, and this is not a unique thing that happened, but it doesn't happen every day. But I could give you many examples of this, all right? So I am part of Lunch Club, which is an entrepreneurial networking organization. And through Lunch Club, I met this guy, Aya, okay? And Aya is in Japan. His company is in supply chain, artificial intelligence, all right? And he was looking for more customers. I am not a customer of Aya. My customers are too small to be Aya's customers. But we had a good conversation about supply chain, chatted together, got to know each other a bit, connected on LinkedIn. That was that. Weeks later, I meet Brian, and Brian comes from the freight part of supply chain. So he's all about trucking and freight and transit, and is talking to me about the work that he does, and says to me at the end of the conversation, when we're talking about kind of how we can help each other, do you know anybody in supply chain AI? He said, I really am interested in talking to some people in that space. And what do I say? Of course, you need to meet Aya. Yeah, I just met a guy. It turns out once I connected them, Brian called Aya, interviewed him, and put a really nice interview and gave exposure to Aya's company on his freight blog. All right. I never would have seen that coming. And when Aya called me and we talked together, he didn't say to me, I'm looking for publicity. I'm looking to be on a freight blog. Do you know anybody who does this? Right. This is what I mean about it's just unpredictable. And what's great about it is I feel great. I didn't benefit from it, but I helped two guys that did benefit, right? And that's, you want to be a part of that. It's a really nice feeling when you can do something like that. So why don't more people do it? Why is it so scary to people? And I think it's because people view this as networking as selling. I have to call a complete stranger and sell myself, right? And I do not view it like that. I would encourage you to think of it like this, all right? You are at the playground and you have snacks. And you are the kid that is willing to share snacks with other kids. All kids want snacks, right? They might not like this person, they might not be able to eat the snack that you have. It might be too spicy for them, or they don't like that one. That's no reflection on you. They still like you. And that's what networking is about. You're out there saying, hey, how can I help you? Maybe I can connect you with somebody. It doesn't always work. They don't become your best friend, but still you have a positive experience, and it works well to add value that you cannot predict in the moment, right? That's really what you want. And it should be as intimidating as a little kid in a playground, really, which is, it shouldn't be that intimidating. So having said that, how do you do it though? How do you reach out to a stranger? And especially, what if the stranger is multiple levels above you, or they're a little intimidating? What do you do? What do you say? So again, back to my experience, I just recently got this reach out by this guy, Rajiv, and I immediately accepted his connect. So I thought it would be a good example to show you why it's something that I connected with very quickly from a complete stranger. Okay. And so you can see yourself the conversation. I happened to be on LinkedIn when he pinged me. So it was really fast. What did he do right? Okay. First of all, look at his description. You know exactly what this guy is all about. So I could see very quickly he is in my tribe, right? My tribe is supply chain people that love to do what they do, right? And I can see that very quickly. I do not have to click on his profile, go look him up, look at his CV, right? He saved me all that work, all right? What else did he do right? Sent me a nice note, right? Here's how I found you. Pleasure to be in your network. He isn't begging me to be in his network. He's not telling me all the reasons why he should be in my network. Just very quick, simple, peer-to-peer, great. And even better, the guy is good, right? Then follows up with, let's get together. Let's see how we can help each other. So for me, this is just a really great model of someone that is doing it right. For me anyway, as I'm his target. So how often do people do it right? Right? If that doesn't look so hard. And the truth is they don't do it right all that often. You can stand out by doing it well, is my message here. All right. So I've blocked the innocent to protect them there, but I have 42 invitations that I am completely ignoring in my inbox. And that's not much. Like, I know people who have hundreds they're ignoring, right? But why am I ignoring these 42? So I went through them to see, and 30 of them have no note at all, which again means I have to go click on their link, look them up, figure out, do I already know this person? Why are they asking? Yeah, I don't have time to do that. No one's going to do that, right? Or they're asking me for something very commercially or very concrete. You know, do you have an open job? Okay, no, I don't, we're not hiring right now, right? Or do you want to buy my service or buy my product, or, you know, that's not why you're networking. Where are the snacks, right? You know, be more friendly, and especially make sure that you put a note in there, right? That's where you can offer your snacks and connect. So because it's not really a playground, that's the metaphor only works so far. You do have to prepare for networking, okay? Networking is not socializing. It's not just calling people and chit-chatting with them, right? It's you have a purpose in networking. You're giving away the snacks to be friendly and to help others, but you want help yourself. That's why you network, right? So be clear. You want to meet people that what kind of people are you trying to network with, right? How can they help you? And in exchange, how can you help them, right? I included here some ideas about how you can help people, because often I have had people say to me, well, I don't know how, I feel weird about networking because I don't know what to offer. I can't offer anything. If I reach out to a vice president of marketing and I'm just a marketing intern, what could I possibly offer that person, right? But the truth is, you're not offering them your job qualifications. That's not your snacks. Your snacks are you as a person, who you know, what you know how to do, what you know is cool that they don't know. I mean, to the point where things that are non-work related at all are valid snacks in networking, all right? So the other day I talked to Darshana. Darshana is in Singapore. Singapore is a small country. Many people don't know anything about Singapore. We'd love to visit Singapore, right? But we don't know anything about it. A great snack she could have is at the end of every conversation, she could say, hey, have you ever wanted to visit Singapore? You ever been interested? I have a link to a great website that I, as a local, have checked, and I think it's the best guide to Singapore I've ever seen. Would you guys be interested? Would you be interested in it? It's a great example. Everybody has examples of things like that you can offer that people will appreciate, and they'll think of you next time. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfectly in line with your professional conversation, right? You're human when you network. It's also, networking should not be limited to LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn would love you to limit your networking to LinkedIn, and they sell you on that you should be searching in there and looking and messaging. But I find LinkedIn is actually a secondary place to connect. LinkedIn is better for me to keep connections that you have than it is necessary to find original connections. So, you know, the small peer groups, that's where you should be networking, right? Who do you know that I know that we could help each other? Then branch out from there. And so here are just a list of obvious places that you can network and find people and expand your network, right? Don't limit yourself to only LinkedIn itself. And my final advice is to just model my friend Rajiv here, right? You saw what he did. It didn't take much time. He didn't have to do a lot of homework. It wasn't an intimidating process, and it worked immediately with somebody like me. So, be bold, take the step. Be clear. It's really important that you're clear in your overture and message, and be positive. You have value. You bring something to the table. Own it, right? And act out like that. And in the presentation, I've included, this is a link. I'll send you guys this. So Carolina and Britta will have it for you. Use me. I'm happy to, if you want to test and send me something and say, Michelle, I'm testing this message. What do you think? And I'll let you know. Otherwise, if you're one of the 30 people that has sent me a link before with no message and I haven't responded, now you know why. You can follow up with a message, and let's keep the conversation going, and I'm happy to talk to you further. Okay, that's it.
Super. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was
You're welcome.
to the point, do's and don'ts. And I love the picture of snacks. So I will think about networking as snacks and what I can bring with me. Instead of snacks, it's me, and think about us as giver, as people who
Exactly. Yeah.
and so I really like that. Thank you so much. I think it was very helpful for everyone. So I took also some notes, and yeah, great. And I think we will have questions and Q&A after we hear now Catherine Starks, who will come in and share more about how to connect, how not to connect, and about her experience. So we are looking forward to it, and keep your questions either already in the chat or in your minds, and we will have some time to answer those, and Michelle, Margot-Sata, and Catherine can then answer them in the Q&A. Catherine, are you ready?
I am ready. And by the way, can you hear me, everybody? I hope so. So you two ladies have made it difficult because you've already said a lot of the things that I was going to say. So I'm going to really try and focus on things that have not been said. Although I would love to pick up on the snack metaphor. Seriously, I'm going to be a bit brutal about what not to do in what I tell you, because I also have 100 or plus requests to connect in my inbox, and I have some comments as well on why, how to connect and what not to do. But before I do that, I would like to just have some really, really pragmatic things that I think are useful and that I still to this day do. The first thing is I love a list. So make a list of the people who you used to work with, your former bosses, former colleagues, college friends, anyone you know in a town that you might be visiting, anyone you know in a particular company, and anyone you know in an industry, etc. Make a list of names of people. I keep a list of names of people that work for Bank of New York, and I reach out to them and contact them and ask them how they're doing regularly. What do I want from them? Absolutely nothing. I want to see how they are. I want to see how I can add service and help them and support them. One of the key and number one things is share snacks, you know, and share your toys, and see where you can also share your time. I'm such a great believer in the way to create a relationship with somebody, and the way to network is to discover where you add value to people and share that and add value to them. So I'm really big on volunteering. I'm always volunteering my time as a mentor. I volunteer my time to offer free training. It isn't that I don't like earning money. It's that I earn good money and I want to give back. I want to pay forward some of the things that I've benefited from in my life. And I was recently talking to somebody, and I say this over and over again. So one of the things that drives me is that I try to be the person that I would have needed when I was younger, but wasn't there. So I'm always willing, but there are times when I'm just not willing to help at all. And I'm going to talk about some of the don'ts as well. So if you use LinkedIn, if you use Xing, if you use Facebook, all of those are really great places to be. And my first piece of advice is spend time on LinkedIn. When I was at the early part of my career, I spent several hours a week on LinkedIn looking for good connections, looking to learn, following people, seeing what they were about. And then if and when I thought I had something to offer that person, I would connect to them. And I got ignored a lot too. Now things have turned around. I get an awful lot of people connecting to me that want something from me. Here's the don't do. Don't write to a senior person in an organization and say, I'd love to meet you for a coffee, without offering any context or anything. And then whenever you ask them what they would like to talk about, dive in with a great long sales pitch. Don't do that. I'm going to ignore you if you do that. And so will most people who could probably benefit you. And the other thing I'd really like to pick up on Michelle's point is networking is often about that N+1. So you may connect to somebody and offer something to them, and it may lead to another connection with somebody else, just to use the example that Michelle used before, where you can add value to them. So keep in mind that just because somebody that you've connected to is not immediately able to offer you anything, or you may not want to ask them for anything, they may be a useful contact in the future. So reach out and contact people. One thing I will say is, if you do reach out to somebody and if you do reach out to somebody, and I've got dozens of examples of this, and they respond, don't just ignore them. I've just had 3 or 4 examples in my inbox just the last few days where I accepted people's requests and wrote to them and said, how can I be of service to you? Which is always how I respond, or often how I respond to people, and they haven't bothered to come back. So listen, if you want to network with a senior person, or anybody for that matter, be polite. You know, you asked them for something, they responded, be back to them. And I'm not talking about people who don't get back in half an hour. I'm talking about people who don't get back in 3 weeks. Don't be that person. It's just annoying. And also I will remember you, and so will everybody else, as that person that never came back. I would really like to suggest as well a couple of things for networking that are helpful. And that is, create groups. You know, create a lean-in circle, but create other groups. I run about 4 groups on Facebook, and they're not related to work. They're related to like private topics of interest. Through those groups, I've met so many interesting people. It's a bit of work. You've got to go in, post, connect. Do that. Again, with a mind always to adding value, being of service to your community, being of service to groups of women, being of service to groups of people that you share similar interests with. And then another thing else I'll add as well is take courses, take online courses, take in-person courses. Every course you take has 3 benefits. The first, to me, and I'm sure to many other people, the first one is the new material that you learn. The second one is the people you get to know and stay in contact with them, arrange to meet them. And the last one is it shifts your perspective and opens your mind and your heart to new ideas. And I think a thing that I do even today is I go on a lot of blind dates. And before you say what's she talking about, that's dangerous. I go on a lot of blind dates with women. I will meet women in groups and we'll connect. I just recently, for instance, joined a WhatsApp group in my village of women in the village. Somebody wrote to me and said, oh, I find you really interesting. Can we talk? And I went, yeah, how about going for a walk? We went for a 10-kilometer walk and had a fantastic conversation, and both of us made a new friend. She's 25 years younger than me. Does it matter? No, it's wonderful. Those are all ways that you can network and connect, and you can't think in that moment, what will this be good for? You just do it, you offer your time, you offer your service, and then you wait and see what comes back. And sometimes nothing comes back and it doesn't matter. You had a great conversation. I would really urge you, and this is going to be my my last point, is don't be afraid to ask for advice and to ask for help. It all depends on how you do it. And you senior people love giving advice. I can tell you, all of my female colleagues are doing mentoring. Most of my male colleagues, senior colleagues, are doing mentoring and are advising younger people. There is nothing people like more than to do that. But we only like to do it if we feel that the person doing it is taking full advantage and is taking action on some of the things that we've recommended, and that the person is comes to those sessions well prepared and ready. And maybe, and I think I'll actually leave it there. I'll leave it there. I think that's enough. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer anything you would like to ask me.
Super.
Thanks.
Thank you, thank you, Catherine, for this really interesting sum up and advices. And I really also took some things of that. You know, I'm also a connector since years, and I had to do a lot of cold calling in my life, but it's true, you build up a relationship, you should have that in mind, and build it up slowly. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's kind of work. You first have to give, and then slowly you can take. And people, as you're saying, senior people like to give advice, but they also want to be yeah, taking into account their time and also the advice they give, and get some feedback how that went, and if you have a good experience, and then you message them and say, this actually worked well, and then that is a great great thing if you get the feedback then from this advice. So I think we open it now to Q&A here. We still have some time for everyone to come in and ask some questions to Catherine, to Michelle, and also Margot Sate. So come in, you can either put into the chat or just unmute yourself and come in and ask.
And the mentors who are also here, or anyone else with your own advice, please feel free to also share. Because like we said earlier, there's no hierarchy between mentors, mentees. Everyone here have their own experience when it comes to connecting and building your own personal board of directors. Yeah. So we have some questions, Britta, already on the chat. So should I read out the first one? Yeah. So one of the questions, and to the three mentors, so how can we approach people we don't know or know about asking for a job opportunity, or, and the brackets is from me, or sales for those entrepreneurs here, basically? What's the best way in your opinion?
So I can take that. So in your little worksheets, you know who you want to meet, you know they can help you find a job, right? That's what you're looking for. Make sure that you have things to offer also, so that you're not just going to them and connecting with them and saying, hi, do you have a job, right? That's not networking, that's just asking for a job. But as Kathleen said, +1 is what you're looking for. So when you network and you reach out to people and say, hey, I'd love to connect with you, learn about what you're doing. I'm really interested in your profession, for example. So if you're switching careers, you could say to me, you know, I've been a design engineer, but I want to get into supply chain. I'm really interested to learn more about what supply chain people do and what the opportunities are for engineers. Maybe you could help me with that. But be in a research mode. And then as we're talking, it should come out. You should absolutely not be shy about saying, yeah, no, I'm looking for a job. If you know anybody or you know any opportunities, please keep me in mind, let me know. But it shouldn't be a one-note conversation about you and that job. I think that's the important thing. Yeah.
It's really good, Michelle. I think what I always like the term, we need to stalk the person we're approaching a bit, just to know a bit more about them, and then put it in as a question of what we can also offer the N+1. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Catherine, you want to say something?
Maybe just a very quick point to add to that, because I love that. And one thing that I think is really important, if you do get face-to-face with a person that you would like help from, then be curious about them. Mm-hmm. Don't sit there and talk endlessly about yourself thinking that's impressing anybody. It's not impressing anyone when you do that. I had a girl that worked for us at Bank of New York that, this is a bit of a negative example, that asked me to go to lunch with her. And I had a thing where I was going to lunch with people all the time when I first started to get to know all the people in the organization. So I thought, oh, great, we'll go for lunch. We sat down, I swear to God, she's talked for 45 minutes about herself, how hard her life was, how difficult it was, how nobody loves her. I felt at the end of it like I was going to just have to scream. It was so awful. And in fact, at the end of it, I actually gave her the feedback and I said, I'm just curious why you wanted to go to lunch with me. Was there something that you wanted to know about me? And she just didn't even realize that she'd done it. And I would never help somebody like that, because I just think it's just such a one-way street. And learn to be concise. Don't go on and on. Get your point across and then be quiet and be curious.
Thanks. Very good advice as well. Yeah. So not only talking, really listening, and also then asking and being interested in the other person. We are always talking about our board of directors. Does anyone of you as mentors or somebody else has a personal board of directors, and did you at one time ask for people to come on that board who supports your career or who supported your career? Would you recommend doing that? Anyone?
Hi, this is Maria Luisa. Maybe I can say something. Yes, I do, especially when you step in new water like I did 2 years ago. I have my family, I have my sisters, and I know they will always tell me the truth. If I do a bad job, they will tell me. And that's very thankful because very few people tell you really the truth. And so I have also very good friends that are very good professionals, and it's the same thing. You need people that tell you really the truth, that you can become better. And also in the bad moments, you need some advice, or my family and good friends, close friends.
Thanks for sharing, Maria Luisa. Yeah, very valuable. You need people who give you honest feedback. I think that's what you need to be able to learn, to improve, and to grow. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll also say that I do not have a formal board of directors. I kind of have an informal group of people that I talk to. But one thing I still, and I think everybody struggles with from time to time, is the most negative voice you will hear about your abilities and your career and your potential is actually in your own head. And sometimes it's really nice. I know I'm doing the opposite now of Maria saying, reach out and get right. And they will tell you when you're doing something crazy, but they'll also tell you when you're being overly critical of yourself. And I think it's important to have people that will say to you, what are you talking about? You're not that bad at that. Or I don't think that's a problem. Why are you stressing about that? And that's an equal value, I think, in a network. Yeah.
Michelle, you just stole my thoughts. We as women, we should never say to ourselves what we wouldn't say to our friends. We are so overcritical with ourselves. And we don't say anything like this to our best friends. We always use better words and appreciate them. We never say to them, oh, you look really fat in this skirt, right? Don't be so critical with yourself.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I just want to add on. Hi, this is Judy. I think it also depends on your culture. I think for Asian culture, the board of directors that include your family, immediate family members, they are quite critical to us. They are giving us, in order to share love, they give you negative feedback, which I'm constantly trying to educate my family members in Singapore. I'm from Singapore. I've been living in Berlin for 16 years. And we have a chat group, and they always, in order to show concern, they will always give me negative feedback.
Oh my God.
And I told them, I said, okay, in this time, in this pandemic time, we should support each other. I will appreciate that we should give out positive energy, but not negative. So I would not want to have any, especially on me, if you want to comment on me, because a chat group, we have 20 members in this chat group. So auntie, uncles, cousins, and all these things. So I told them, okay, if you want to comment on me, you just only give me positive feedback.
I think that's such a huge point, and I love what Michelle said. There's something powerful about feedback and somebody saying, do this, don't do this.
Yeah.
And yet in my coaching, every woman I meet has got like this horrible inner mean girl that is telling her all the things she can't do. And one of the jobs that I have as a mentor and a coach is to make people realize just what is possible. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sheryl Sandberg didn't think she was going to end in the job she did when she